Are you two contemplating?
Yeah, I'm thinking they can have a nap with her.
No. I have to get the blankie out for you.
Yep.
Cuddle down with the dog.
Yep. Mid-afternoon nap.
So what have you been doing in here, Jace?
I fitted a motor.
I see that it's a whole lot shorter now.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I'll leave that on, that'll be alright.
You think the old nose can be good?
I think so.
So you've changed brackets?
Yeah, so obviously there's two shiny brackets there, that one on the power steering, and then new tensioner up there. Here's the belt's a bit long now.
Yeah, not much though, so we have to get a slightly different length belt. And you've changed the crank pulley.
Yep, and water pump.
New crank seal, and you've got that big sump on there. Still haven't sorted the dipstick. And of course the water pump. Yeah, of course that water pump. So Jace's, as we said, he's shortened the front of the engine. So it's now more like an L98 or an LS3. So it's a lot shorter. So the radiator fits in. I've got to order fans. I've got to order fans.
Fans.
I've got to order fans. I've ordered leads to fit around the headers. I've ordered other little bits and pieces. It's still, as you can see, sitting on some blocks of wood with a bit of steel across there.
No, I reckon it's permanent.
It wouldn't work. Oh, no, we can't weld to the wood. And the first thing he actually looked at doing when he got it in there was to mount the air conditioning pump. To make us to have room. So somewhere in there we're going to try and fit some engine mounts, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. There's no clutch in it yet, so we'll do a measure up. And the new bell housing, it's okay, we've got clearance. There's only just clearance here, so we're going to make a little bit of a change there. Clearance down the back of the rack is lovely.
Yeah, banjo fitting will. Yeah, that fitting will work.
It'll fit?
I think so.
Did we have a banjo fitting?
No.
We didn't have the banjo fitting? Okay. We might go see the boys in Nongataha tomorrow about finding a banjo fitting bun.
And the correct sump stuff. Tank stuff.
See if they've got it. Yeah, okay. We've decided that the mounts just aren't going to work. The big bulky factory style one. Those ones. So we're working on some other mounts to turn up. And in the meantime, Jason's going to go through and build some drive shaft hoops. Same as all the other drive shaft hoops we do on these. Cross member cross, hoops in, member down, all pretty simple stuff.
You get a feeling the dog's in the way.
And she loves sparks when you start grinding and welding.
Dog shaft hoops.
When we were doing this stuff here, the motor was in and out 3 times in the one day. As we check stuff. 4? Did you do it once when I wasn't looking, or was I just lost count?
I think I did it 4 times.
4 times in the one day. So we've actually summed up a whole day's work of motor in and out. Conversion sex, as we call it, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And he sorted front, he sorted bits and pieces, he changed it. He was unhappy with the bell housing, so he ground some bits off the bell housing, changed some ribs.
Cut some nubs off it.
Cut
the wrong nub off it. And then
oh yeah, cut an extra nub off it.
Sorry, they gave me
It was an extra nub, it just made it even. And things like the back lifting hook was fouling on the bell housing, so we had to trim that off. Now we've actually made some progress. We'll fab up some mounts, and then the motor's coming out to get those mounts welded up. Again, hopefully for the last time that time.
Put a clutch on this one too.
And put a clutch on it. We have to do some measuring and machine up our internal release bearing as well. So we're going to continue, and we'll do another update once we've got a bit further along.
Bruce bolts some on too, might leak a little bit.
Bolts in the sump. Good idea. Put bolts in the sump, Chase.
And the gasket.
Oh, gasket arrived, eh?
Yeah, it's the one from the pinch there.
Oh, we got a gasket. Those are big brakes, eh? That's awesome. I'm looking for big brakes for our LS2 conversion. And for those of you that might have seen this ute before, this is the supercharged late model Hilux. So Toby's fitted up a Peugeot caliper, big Brembo, big Supra rotors. Couldn't fit the backing plate on, he's taken that off, and he's put a little bit of a spacer on. Now let's see if our wheel's going to fit. Put the wheel in the way of my wheel. Oh, I didn't want to put my wheel so it would foul on, roll into your ute or anything.
Oh, fuck, I can't do it. I think it's going on paint. So I've worked with my face and it's actually not bad equipment.
10mm spacer, and it clears. There's probably about 10mm worth of clearance, so it's probably zero clearance when you put it all together. Without that, what's that?
If you spin the caliper a bit.
Probably better just put a 10mm spacer in like you've done.
Yeah, well, I can only just get an Ep4 card between my wheel and the caliper, and it sticks in there tight.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure what the cert rules are because it's not a floating
Clearance.
caliper. Just any clearance.
Clearance. Oh, I think they actually might have one. We were talking about that this week, so that's going to work. David, stay there, Will.
Another thing you have to do with those rotors too is you have to machine the inside out where it goes over the
So where it sits over the snub.
snub, yeah.
So that's a Supra. What model Supra was it?
Like Mark 4 Supra.
JZA80.
Yeah.
Are they JZA80 Turbo Supra?
Yeah.
And you got vented ones.
They can get them. They don't have them, but they can source them. Yeah.
They can source them.
Yeah.
And then that's a Peugeot 607.
Yeah.
607, and it actually bolts on.
That's pretty on, so if you watch
And then you made a brake line for it.
I saw it. If you watch it bring it on the steering wheel. So I actually saw a spray brake lines.
Yeah, I'll probably get a set of custom ones made up.
And you can see it just straight onto the
You
original
just cook your nuts. Yeah.
The original Hilux mount on there.
I'm not sure you're going to get away with the zip tie as a mount.
That was for the track day. I could break it off the bottom and shop that. But yeah, they're right.
And then you use the...
Those are the bolts that came with the caliper. So they suit the thread on the caliper.
Oh, has it got a weird thread on it?
No, they just came with it and they were Loctite, so I just used them. But they were the same diameter, same thread pitch as the actual Toyota anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, I just used them because they were there. So they have like their Loctite grip on them. So.
607 Peugeot. And then Skyline pads, is it?
No.
Well, you've taken a little bit off the diameter of the rotor, haven't you?
No, haven't touched nothing.
So that's just the inside?
Yep.
You've just touched that inside?
Yes.
The
Oh, yes,
bolts on
sorry,
the
yes,
flange.
yes, sorry. Yeah, I've taken a little off the inside there, yeah, and then just countersunk those. So the original threads that were on there to wind the rotors up when they stick to the hub.
Yep.
They had the.
And then longer studs, of course?
Yeah, they're actually 10 more longer studs. So to buy them, they were 30 odd bucks a piece. But to buy two Savage Performance spacers for 50 bucks and that, you press them out, and they're the right nil and the right diameter, and 10 more longer for the Hilux.
Oh,
so
cool.
They're perfect. So for 50 bucks now, a couple of hundred, and those are Prado. I've
Prado?
got full caliper, 4-pot Prado.
Cool.
Pads, so they fit on there perfect, same pin offset and everything, and they were cheaper than paying 300 bucks for Brembo pads. So
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense when you've done this. It works. I'm just going to copy what you've done.
yeah,
That's cool.
well, it works. So
It works. It looks good. That should stop our LS2.
yeah, well,
It stops this thing.
I was giving it to him on the track and it was pulling up good. So
You had a good track day?
yeah, no, I loved it.
Good. All right, cool. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Just need some more throttle out of it now.
Or boost.
In that. Yeah, if it wants to. I took it for a good strop the other day.
Oh, you've driven it? You've driven your own ute?
On the road, yeah.
Good. Righto. That's cool. Thanks, mate. Funny enough, sitting on the hoist is an LS and a Hilux. Haha. Different earlier Hilux. We're sharing ideas. I don't know if I want anyone to see this one. Has it even made noise?
Never.
How close is this to running?
The downpipes, the oil feed line, so basically finishing the turbo setup off and just wiring it. There's a brand new G4 stream on the front seat with wiring.
Why don't you just make it go? Jace. Jace has been hammering away on the ute. Today I've been doing quiet stuff and he's been doing the noisy stuff. I do believe he could actually take the wooden mount out of it now. I think the mounts are actually sitting in place. He's put some mounts up. He's got a basic layout of a mount ready to be welded up. You happy with those mounts?
Yeah.
Yeah?
See if we can get them apart next.
See if we can actually get the motor out while the mount's in there. Yep.
Yeah.
And he's been making drive shaft hoops. And he's got the fuel tank out. We opened our box of fuel system to find that it wasn't the fuel system that we wanted. It was the same as this one. What we normally do is we find a V6 Hilux of the similar year, which also happen to have the bigger brakes. It's the V6s with the 20mm extra rotors on them. And anyway,
They're still single pot or they twin pot?
I don't know. I don't know if they're a single pot or twin pot, or because the V6s of those ones have got 4 pots. That one's got 4 pots, and it hasn't it? Anyway, we pulled the tank out and found that we had the same. They'd sent us diesel stuff instead of the V6 stuff, which is a bit of a pain. We do a bit of a swap around in there and make it all kind of work and put it to a petrol one with a big grunty pump in it. And this one we've gone really big in the pump because it's not a little 1UZ or a 3UZ, it's the LS.
Someone's E85.
And it says E85, yeah, it's E85 safe. Not that we can get E85 very well over here now. So we've got that done. As I said, he's done mounts. And he's kind of making a plan where to go forward. And I think he's going to hook the motor out again so those mounts can be welded and tidied and ground and made all look good. So he's done a heap of work today. Yet it shows there's a couple of mounts and a drive shaft hoop. But it's been a big day's work for him and he's done really well.
Grinding dust.
Yeah, there's half a ton of steel on the ground. As per normal, there's been some organising of parts, so we're going to get a swivel thermostat housing and other bits and pieces. How are we looking actually, Jace, for that exhaust clearance? It's going to be tight, but I think we'll get it. We're okay. Yep, the exhaust clearance actually looks pretty good there, actually. It's going to be tight, eh?
Well, where's it need a starter motor?
Starter motor. So we got the bell housing, and it was meant to have the proper starter. And we opened the box and there was no starter. So I rang the guys over there and the suppliers, and it looks like they've got the starter motor sent. The man in the warehouse said, yep, it's definitely been sent. There's no paperwork. There's no record sent to me. I'm taking his word for it. It's on its way. And I'm crossing my fingers a little bit. I can only do what we can do. So here's hoping.
Oh, so
Yep.
they're not sent it with the barrel.
The paperwork came with the bell housing for the starter motor. We had to pay duty when it came in because it was over the dollar value, and there was no starter motor in the box. There was lots of paper, but no starter motor. He didn't argue, he just, yep, put it in a box, said, yep, it's on its way.
Oh.
No problems. No problems at all.
So there's one on the way?
There's one on the way.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's one on the way. I've talked to them twice, it's one on the way. Jace will plan drive shaft hoop on the back drive shaft, but he wants to put that thing in first. So we need to wait on fuel systems. Was there an exhaust shield?
I think there's one in there.
Oh yeah, so we can put an exhaust shield when they take the cooler and lines out.
And there's no, oh, there's no past steering line.
No, there was no power steer line.
But I'm wondering if the factory one will fit because the outlet's like here. So miles away, it's here.
Well, if we'll put the factory one on and see if it fits now, eh?
I don't know where it is though. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, well, we'll put that on and give it a try. If we have to get another one, we'll get another one. We'll get the banjo fitting. By the time we finish with this job, we're going to know these late model Hiluxes and all the differences and all the different characteristics and what bits fit what pretty well. I want to know how you've managed to get that in and out how many times, and you've needed no assistance.
I don't really need assistance.
You've just been whipping it in and out. I've got leads sorted.
I don't really need assistance. It's just standing there doing nothing. So.
I've got leads underway. I've got my swivel. I'll get my swivel sorted. I've got plugs sorted coming. Though they've got the wrong address on them.
Hilux repairs at Toyota kilometres.
David.
Don't think we need that.
No, I don't think we need that. It's quite inconvenient when the tractor pulls up outside. So we got the release bearing, but we're not using this release bearing. Well, those can be fitted into these boxes. We'll use our one. The brand new flywheel. Flywheel.
Yeah, it's not very heavy. Oh, it doesn't work.
That's how you solve the problem, eh? Get rid of the flex plate.
I thought it was a manual, this motor.
This motor was a manual.
Oh, but you put a flex plate on it.
It had already had the manual conversion sold off it. So the motor came as a went to the wrecking yard as a manual, but we only needed a motor because we weren't using a trans, and they put a flex plate onto that. That's why, remember it had a spigot in the crank.
Yeah. Still has that spigot in there.
Oh, still has that in there, yeah. So that's why. So this motor was brought, was a proper manual motor. I should call it an engine. It's starting to sound like American. It's an LS, so shall I buy some proper ones for you?
Sure.
Some ARPs or something, see if we can get some ARPs.
Something local.
Yeah, some will have them. I'll get on the phone. We're doing a measuring thing because we want to make sure that our spigot bearing, this is a Toyota spigot bearing on an adapter that we had made up, does not foul on the end of the spigot shaft here. So we've got in, we've measured from this surface, from the bow flange to that surface, and then we did the opposite measure from here and then back to there, working out we have 2 millimeters of clearance. So that's bang on. Bang on. Bang on.
Good guesstimation.
Yep. And then we've done the same thing with the clutch flywheel setup to measure up for the bearing that we're going to use. So this is the internal release bearing we're going to put into it. And we need to build a little bit of a spacer. So this setup's designed for our Lexus flywheels and clutch setups. And then we modify it for the LS. That means we don't have any things hanging out the side of the bell housing. No release bearings to worry about. No slave cylinders to worry about. Jason built the world's simplest air conditioning mounting bracket, and that worked out really, really well. Just a little bit of extra steel, and engine mounts are going on. We'll get them all welded up properly. Looks good with us now. Lower down, eh? Looks really good.
Oh, it's cracked too.
I would really like to put a fuel pressure sensor into this.
Yeah, straight of on the front of this, something?
There's a bleeder here,
Yeah.
or here. We get a bit of stainless buzzed onto it and a hole drilled through it. We tap it.
Bugger. These bouncing.